Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching. This is a proposal for the Filipino people and our beloved country, the Philippines. It's called the Filipino Mind Revolution. This is Andy Zalds here, fellow kababayan, countryman. And I'd like to just request you to please hear this proposal carefully, consider it, and because this may well be our ticket out of the big mess we created ever since we got liberated from our colonizers. So, again, this is the Filipino Mind Revolution, picking up from where Nolimi Tangere and El Filibusterismo left off. Alright, so first thing we want to look at is our situation as a country. How do you solve a problem called the Philippines? So in this slide, we list up a host of issues that plagues our country. The number one could be the glaring poverty, right? Everything that goes with it. The eyesores, the garbage, the squatters. And if you just compare going around the city in a first world country and come back to the Philippines, you will easily see the contrast, right? So out of all these issues, it's hard to identify what is the first thing we need to solve, right? Where do we even start is the question. And here's another page continually listing up a lot more issues. For example, the calamities. We have typhoons, earthquakes, and volcanoes, right? There is no other country, I guess, that is battered as much as the Philippines is in terms of natural calamities. And add to that the constant bogging down of public transportation, public utilities. We still have brownouts, outages. Yeah, so we try to sell our country as being more fun, but is it really more fun in the Philippines? We are drowning with all these social, economic, political issues. And it's no surprise that 10% of our people have left, abandoned us, and gone off to better pastures as immigrants, as OFWs, permanent OFWs. So, how do you solve a problem called the Philippines? Now, we have here some of the band-aid solutions that are proposed by politicians and leaders in Philippine society. The question is, are they really effective? For example, the squatters. We can move the squatters to another location, but it's just the location that changed, right? The problem still persists. The squatters still don't have a means to improve their lives. We can give dole outs to the poor, but still, okay, so you provide food and shelter, but still no real productive job for them. It's like giving them fish without the skill of fishing. We can make new rules. We can preach in the pulpit. We can educate. Right? So all these methods may not be effective. They could just be listening but not hearing. Teachers could be ineffective by not being good role models. We can hire more people to get the job done. For example, metro aids. But people keep littering. And so the root cause of the problem is not addressed. And what is this root cause? So the root cause is the dysfunctional Pinoy mentality. So in this slide, we are listing on the left, one by one, the Pinoy mentality or the bad habits or bad Filipino traits that we are world renowned for. Like we have the corruption mentality. And on the right side are like the examples, or to more clearly explain in the vernacular, in our native language, what it means. Okay, so corruption in the form of bribes, kickbacks, and extortion. And then we have the crab mentality here. Nainggit tayo pag may umasenso. We have low standard of quality. Pwede na ang pwede na. So this is page 1. Page 2 here, still more Filipino traits, like for example the Filipino time here. We could say na traffic ako eh. So we are full of palusot or making excuses for being not on time. There's Ningas Kugon, for example, like our New Year's resolution, where we try to start a change or start an initiative, which only fades out in a few days or months. And on this third page, we have the likes of colonial mentality, where we think that anything foreign is superior. We also have the star complex or attention seeker, kulang sa pansin. And then we have like leeching of foreigners, where we treat foreigners like an ATM. So these are appalling, right? And not to mention things that we should be ashamed of. So these things sort of shock many foreigners or expats visiting or deciding to live in the Philippines. These are all the stuff they have to put up with to survive. And it's not a pleasant experience. All right, so this dysfunctional mentality is basically the very cancer of Philippine society. Like this person here who is plagued by a disease, he's basically rotting from within. So this disease is a very complex behavioral and cultural disease that has swallowed our entire society. It is opposite of the first world mentality. There are two main elements to this disease. The first is corruption, basically dishonesty and self-interest. And second aspect is the incompetence, being unfit for the job, and the lack of common sense. So this disease has infected everyone in society at all levels, from politicians, teachers, workers, students, and the like. So let's focus on corruption and incompetence. It's a big waste. Corruption, according to the ADB, um, accounts for 40% of the revenue. And incompetence loses a lot of things like time, resources, effort, and opportunities. Think of it as a water tank with two big holes leaking out. No matter how much we pump up to fill the tank, we just can't achieve it because uh, e- everything, a lot of stuff just goes to waste, right? It's like taking 3 steps forward only to take one big step backwards. So the Philippines is basically lagging behind in terms of output. We are known as the sick man of Asia, while all our neighbors have been progressing economically, industrially. The Philippines has struggled to keep up. So here we have it. This graph just shows that one Singaporean is equivalent to 18 Filipinos in terms of output per capita GDP. So the same goes for competitiveness. We are lagging behind. Among the ASEAN countries, we are ranking number 5, which is quite low in comparison to the likes of our more progressive neighbors, namely Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and Vietnam is catching up pretty fast, and is expected to overtake us. This competitiveness is based on categories like economic performance, government and business efficiency, and infrastructure. And it's known that the Philippines is plagued by political and policy instability, excessive red tape, pervasive corruption, security concerns, and uncertainty around property rights. So all these undermine the quality of the institutional framework on which businesses rely heavily. So that's the sad reality. We are left behind. So this is the vision and strategy for the Philippines. How can we catch up, right? Our vision is to achieve Singapore status in 25 years. When we say Singapore, means to become a clean, orderly, and disciplined country and society. It means producing excellent products and services and creating meaningful and creative jobs for our people. So the big question is, how do we achieve this? We know the problem and we have a goal, but how do we get from point A on the left to point B? So our solution is called the Zaxxun Creed. We propose to adopt a new mindset called the Zaxxun Creed. And what is the Zaxxun Creed? Zaxxun stands for, it's an acronym which stands for Rizal, and it's named after the national hero. And it's just proper that he is the person who first sparked the first revolution. So it's just proper that he be the inspiration for this second revolution, the mind revolution. And this is the double X is for the extermination of corruption and incompetence. And UN there stands for the United Movement of this Zaxxun Creed revolution. All right, so what is the Zaxxun Creed? It is composed of 9 lines, and these 9 lines encapsulate all the positive traits and beliefs and that we want to inculcate in our mindset, right? So to just to show you that anyone can memorize this, let me try to get my props here and close my eyes and recite this to you. So the Zaxxun Creed: I am anti-corruption. To hell with bribery and extortion. Integrity is supreme. I pursue a clean, orderly, and disciplined life. Time is gold. Knowledge is power. Words are alive. Actions define character. Excellence is my trademark. Unity is a fortress. My genuine concern is the common good. Innovation creates opportunity. Relentless improvement drives success. Dream big, think big, press hard towards the goal. Wolves are exposed, corruptors fall. By the hand of the Almighty, to Him be glory forever. So there you have it. Anyone can memorize these 9 lines. Just take 1 line a day, and in a little more than a week, you can have this locked inside your brain, your mind. So it touches on the issue of corruption and the issue of incompetence. Like, for example, our Filipino time is countered by this line 3 here, that time is gold. So knowing that time is a valuable resource, why should you waste it, right? Why should you ask people to wait? And having all these values deeply embedded into our system will effectively bring positive change to our society and the way we work, the way we live, and the way we treat people. Okay, so Why the Zaxxun Creed? So think of it as a pill that you take and will basically reprogram your mind. So this creed is based on the winner mentality. It's the mentality adopted by first world countries and first world or world class ISO companies. It's the secret sauce or formula of achievers. It's the product of staying in Japan for over 2 decades, working in a top multinational company, and being a Christian almost all my life. So, a century ago, Rizal started a revolution to awaken the Filipino mind. So, what did this revolution do? Basically, we got liberated from the corrupt colonizers, right? And we also changed the leadership of the nation. From the colonizers, it became Filipinos. However, changing the ethnicity of the leaders did not really improve the country because they were still corrupt. So this century, and this year is 2023, we need a new revolution to awaken the Filipino mind. So, what is this revolution that we have to fight for? It's to liberate ourselves from the Pinoy corrupt and incompetent mentality, which we identified earlier, right? The two holes in the water tank. And lastly, the Zaxxun mindset is adopting the mind of Christ. You can trace just about every line there to a verse in the Bible. This is fully based on biblical principles. And as a Christian, predominantly Christian country, we are identified as the only predominantly Christian country, in fact, in Asia, right? Or in East Asia. And yet we are the ones plagued by all these issues, right? So what does that speak about being Christian? So this is the mindset we need to adopt to be truly biblical Christians. Now, you think this Zaxxun Creed will really work? Now, let me present to you 80 or more reasons why the Zaxxun Creed is effective. Now, just look at these world-famous Japanese brands, the likes of Toyota, Mitsubishi, Sony, Panasonic. All these are household names which are well known for their quality and their reliability, durability. And these were produced basically using the same values incorporated in the Zaxxun Creed. So, if we continue to compare ourselves with Japan, we all know that we are left far behind compared with Japan, right? In terms of industrial output and technology. Again, these brands and products come to mind whenever we think of Japan. But right down here, What world-class export product is the Philippines known for? So many would think of the banana, right? First thing that comes anyone's mind would be bananas or mangoes, pineapples, anything yellow basically, right? That you can pick off from a tree. So does this what does this speak about our country? The fact that it doesn't involve any technology, intelligence, or creativity to produce this speaks a lot, right? It kind of puts our country, our people, in a bad light because whatever we produce is the image and status that people will have about our countries, right? Now, the plan is to adopt the Zaxxun Creed nationwide. So, for example, in schools, we can adopt the Zaxxun Creed as part of the curriculum. We have to institutionalize the learning of this creed. For organizations or companies, we can require employees to become Zaxxuns. When we say Zaxxuns, it just means anyone who has adopted the creed, not forced upon them, but willingly and with integrity, not as hypocrites. And we want to encourage Zaxxuns to be raised in our workforce. So we try to encourage this by hiring and then firing the non-Zaxxuns. So we can also adopt this in our government agencies, especially our politicians, from senators to barangay captains. Let's post the Zaxxun Creed on walls, recite it in public, and the like. And just flashing the logo of the Zaxxun, the Z, X, and N here, will help to promote and bring awareness to the people that we are fighting for something. So focus on schools especially, because schools are important because they produce the next leaders of the Philippine society. So we need the better candidates for these leaders who are incorrupt and competent. So this mindset formation should start at a young age, from grade 3 onwards, and we can require the Zaxxun Creed to be memorized by the students and faculty. The teachers must be role models of the Zaxxun Creed. So there should be no corrupt teacher who would be saying before an exam, "You can cheat as long as I don't catch you," right? So none of that, right? We can create a new subject called the Zaxxun mindset, and or it can be embedded in our values education course. So students can discuss the creed, share ideas, propose solutions, and create products. And if it can be made a distinct subject or displace a not so useful subject. Anyways, more than half of what students learn in school is not used in their work or life eventually anyway. Right? So we can focus very much on schools because The future is in our young people. So it's your choice. Do you want your country to remain poor and ugly? So poverty is deeply rooted in a mindset. The poverty mentality, right, versus the Zaxxun mentality. So when you are encountered a point of decision, you can just follow this flowchart. Just apply the Zaxxun Creed to anything, right? For example, someone gives you an envelope of money, trying to convince you to do a workaround on a proposal, right? Would you take the bribe or no? Would you apply the Zaxxun Creed or no? So this is what will make our decisions kind of bulletproof to corruption if we filter everything with the Zaxxun Creed. Now, there is a saying that there are no poor countries, only poorly managed ones. Because poverty is not a resource issue, it's a people's mind issue. So, as a thought experiment, if the Philippine Islands was owned by Americans, Japanese, or Singaporeans, how would it fare? Most likely, it would be a great first world nation state by now. We can make this choice. We can choose the Zaxxun mentality over the current poverty mentality, which is plagued by the dysfunctional mindset of corruption and incompetence. All right, so in summary, we have talked about the cancer of a dysfunctional Pinoy mindset that plagues the Philippines. And our proposal to fix the problem is to address the issue at the root cause, which is the corrupt and incompetent mind. And as a solution, we propose to adopt the Zaxxun Creed, which is the winner mentality of the first world countries and companies. And our goal is for the Philippines to achieve Singapore status, Singapore clean, orderly, and disciplined status in 25 years. So if we start now, our students can be reprogrammed even now, they will be tomorrow's Zaxxun class leaders of the Philippines. So again, how do we bring our country from point A to point B here in 25 years? Let's adopt the Zaxxun Creed. Thank you for listening, and to discover more and join the revolution and how you can contribute, please visit our website, zaxxun.org, and you can also continue to watch more videos in this channel. Thank you and bye.